Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Pay-per-view featured bout of the evening brought to you by Canelo Promotions and TGB Promotions in association with Matchroom Boxing. Sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is
Errol Spence, the other welterweight champion, who watched that knockdown, put his hand to his face, and said, I'm out of here.
Mr. Thurman, what did you think of the atmosphere here today?
Oh man, the atmosphere was amazing. Brought us back to that epic, energy that Thurman, Pacquiao, Mayweather, Pacquiao, just the big fights, man, where the fans really come out to support. You have.
We'll finish 12 rounds, but Crawford he did a good job.
Is Crawford time for fight number one? Time for fight number one?
I think so.
Is both time for fight number one? Time for fight number one?
I think so, I think, Crawford is fight number one. It's special. Because
it's not interesting to see the fight when one person doesn't want to win at all. But it was hard fight for Canelo because he was always aiming. And
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez just faced off in the biggest fight of their careers, delivering everything boxing fans could have hoped for. This wasn't a mismatch, a cash grab, or empty hype. It was two pound-for-pound kings colliding under the bright Las Vegas lights. For 12 rounds, they produced a battle that will be replayed, debated, and remembered for decades. Some believed Crawford was risking too much by moving up 2 weight classes, while others thought Canelo was slowing down and vulnerable. But this fight erased those doubts. Both men proved their greatness, both walked out with their reputations intact, and the debate over who truly won may outlast the fight itself. From the opening bell, it was clear neither man would have it easy. Crawford didn't back down. He pressed forward in moments, switched stances, and stung Canelo with sharp counters. Every time questions about his size advantage arose, he answered with composure, slipping punches, firing crisp combinations, and using footwork to prevent Canelo from planting his power shots. But Canelo wasn't passive. He brought his trademark pressure, cut off the ring, attacked the body, and leaned on Crawford in clinches to make him carry weight. Each hook to the ribs drew a roar from the crowd. The size difference was felt, and at times, Crawford had to dig deep just to keep Canelo honest. It wasn't a one-sided domination, it was a back-and-forth chess match where power clashed with precision. At times, Crawford's speed froze Canelo, only for Canelo to snap his head back with clean counters. And in other moments, Canelo's body shots forced Bud to circle, adjust, and avoid being trapped against the ropes.
He did his thing, man. Crawford, I knew he was crafty. I told everybody he got a new nickname, Crafty Crawford, and he showed all that craftsmanship here tonight. The speed was too much. That 140 moving up, it happened to me and Pacquiao. Those little guys, as they move up, they bring all that speed, and he also had the power.
For weeks leading up to the showdown, the boxing world was divided. Some analysts pointed to the size difference and wrote off Crawford's chances entirely. Weight classes exist for a reason, Antonio Tarver said before fight week. Canelo Alvarez is a natural super middleweight with a history of punishing smaller opponents. Crawford's skills are undeniable, but many believed he was biting off more than he could chew.
167 and a half.
Let's go, bud. That's right. That's right. Y'all seen that, right? Everybody seen that, right?
Others argued that greatness comes from taking risks. Andre Ward was among them. The former undefeated champion, who knows the challenges of moving through divisions, didn't hesitate to back Crawford. Bud's got that killer mindset, Ward said. He doesn't just adapt, he takes your weapon away and makes you question yourself. Canelo hasn't faced an opponent with Bud's boxing IQ in years.
What do you think about Canelo and Crawford?
I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think that the reason why, if Crawford was a mover like the rest of the fight, then maybe you can have a good chance with Canelo. But I think that being that Crawford is a fighter, that's gonna be a problem. He's a fighter. He wants to fight. He's gonna move a little bit, but his heart is not in moving. So he's gonna have to sit there and fight with Canelo. If you sit there and fight with Canelo, and he's that much bigger than you, then I don't know. But everybody think, Crawford, he's a great boxer, he's this, he's that, which he is. He's a great fighter. And I think he's a great fighter at 140, 47. And he seemed just to be, good at 54. Now we're going to 68.
How many more tricks has Canelo learned since you last fought him?
Then there were the cautious voices. Bernard Hopkins focused on mentality, comparing Canelo to Marvin Hagler, a versatile champion who only faltered when he underestimated a smaller, faster opponent. If Canelo gives Bud too much respect, it'll be a close fight, Hopkins said. But if he presses, uses his size and strength, he can make Bud feel it early.
I'm going to be the third man ringside, calling the Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford fight, September 13th at Allegiant Stadium. I'm excited to be a part of this event. I'm excited to be ringside, calling this great card and this great matchup. Historic event for many, many reasons for both fighters. Super middleweight supremacy on the line, legacies on the line, your namesake and reputation is on the line. And I just take my hat off to both of these fighters for putting everything on the line late in their careers the way that they are. This is rare, and it's becoming more and more rare in boxing. Guys don't want this kind of smoke. They really don't want to face another counterpart that can ruin everything that they've built. And it really don't matter how much money's on the table for a lot of guys. They'd rather take a lesser risk for less money than to risk everything like these two fighters are doing. So I take my hat off to them. And I also want to give a shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for all that he's done to put this fight on. Dana White for all that he's done to put this fight on. And one more person that stays out the way and you don't really hear a lot about, but that has done a lot to make this fight happen as well. And that's my brother, Nick Khan. He just gets stuff done, man. And I want to thank him and shout him out as well for getting this done. So I'll see y'all in Vegas, man. Part of me wants to be home watching this fight in street clothes, but I got to take the street clothes off. I got work to do. I got to put that suit on, get ringside with John and Max, and call this fight like I know we can. Huge event, huge implications, historic night, and I'm happy to be a part. I hope to see you in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. If not, man, tune in live on Netflix.
Everyone had an opinion, which made the opening bell electric. The awareness that half the world might be proven right and half proven wrong.
It's Crawford.
Yeah.
September 13th. Now, what's interesting is I actually looked up the odds on this. I went on betonline.ag.
Yeah.
Canelo is minus 180. Crawford is 139, which means that Canelo is favored, not massively favored. So it's like the way this works is that you'd have to bet $180 to make $100. Almost 2-1, like 1.8 favored over Crawford, who's 139. So that means if you bet $100 on Crawford, you'll get $139 back.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I'm just kind of learning this now. Do you feel that Canelo's going to win?
No.
Really?
No.
So you would put your money on Crawford?
Yes.
You'd make money. Just put that out there. Why do you think Crawford's going to beat him?
Because Crawford could find people to fight like Canelo, who is amazing. Canelo has he evolved. I saw how he evolved defensively and everything. I just don't think he's as fast as Crawford. And I think Crawford is just a little step ahead as far as movement is concerned. And so I think it's going to be Mayweather Canelo part 2. That's what I think.
I mean, Canelo is naturally heavier.
Yeah, Crawford ain't going to knock him out, but I don't know if Canelo's going to land very solidly on Crawford. Canelo's way better now, but I still think there's an edge. It won't necessarily be exactly like that, but I think he'll edge him out point-wise. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, so he'll win the points. Okay.
Because points. I just think still Canelo needs to be set before he fires. His basics are solid, but Crawford is jazz fusion, I feel. He can do unconventional things where Canelo is conventional. He's perfect conventional, but it's kind of like, it's like Allen Iverson. It's the crossover. It's the thing that you just a little bit different. That just gives you, all you need is that little bit of an edge. And I think Crawford has that.
Canelo Crawford coming up September. What do you think about that fight?
Canelo Crawford. Good fight. Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in the high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve the power.
What made this fight so fascinating was how it delivered exactly what the pre-fight talk had promised.
Today that you win this fight.
I'm 1,000% sure now. You know, you gotta think. You know, going into a fight, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know, you can get injuries. He can get injuries. Like, there's so many things that goes on in a boxing match. You know, the judges, the ref, like just everything, preparation. So you're not 100% sure. If a fighter say, "Oh, I'm 1,000% sure," you know, they lying. You know, because you got to go out there and perform at the end of the day. And I'm more than ready to go out there and perform this Saturday.
Tarver's warning about size proved accurate. Canelo's heavier shots and relentless body work wore Crawford down over the full 12 rounds.
And Canelo only need one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only need one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision. I never won a close decision. That's what's looming. I think if Crawford is gonna guarantee victory, he gotta stop him.
A man who ain't been stopped.
He got to stop him, bro.
Yeah,
so that's going to be the challenge. So I like Bud. I've always loved Bud, bro. But he in for a hell of a fight. If Saul show up, it's going to be a problem. You heard me?
But Ward's prediction about Crawford's IQ held true as well. Bud's mid-fight adjustments kept him from being overwhelmed, and every time Canelo seemed ready to take control, Crawford found a new angle or rhythm to slow the attack. Hopkins' point about respect came alive as well. In the early rounds, Canelo gave Bud slightly too much space, testing rather than pressing, which allowed Crawford to seize moments with precise timing. But as the fight progressed, Canelo's pride pushed him to press harder, forcing Crawford to match fire with fire. The result was a battle that could have tilted either way, depending on whether you valued Canelo's heavier, damaging shots or Crawford's cleaner, sharper counters. Sean Porter, who knows Crawford well, had called Bud a monster before the fight. Watching from ringside, he acknowledged Canelo's power through the middle rounds, but by the end, even Porter had to admit Crawford's composure was extraordinary.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo has, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that pans out.
David Benavidez, the rising threat at 168, tweeted during the bout, "Respect to both. They went to war, but I still want Canelo next." That shows just how big this fight was. It didn't just define Crawford and Canelo, it shaped the future of the division.
But I wanted to tell you guys too, this guy, he's making the most money out of everybody. He's charging you guys so much for the pay-per-views. It's like he's spitting in your guys' face, saying that he doesn't give a f what you guys want. He's not going to give you the best fights. He's going to fight the fights that he wants. In my opinion, that's a little bit disrespectful to the fans, but he has cult-like fans that, they don't tell him shit and they're happy with whatever he does. But at the end of the day, if you hold all the titles, you got to fight the best in the division. I'm number one in the division, number one contender. The second one is David Morrell. He's not fighting me, nor he's not fighting David Morrell. So it makes no sense. How is he going to call himself the champion and have all these belts if he doesn't fight the number 1 or the number 2 guys. He's asking $200 million. Why, when they bring my name up with him, that's the most money he's gonna make. When he fought Amir Khan, he outweighed him by like 25 pounds. But, you know, I think it's just he's running out of excuses and running out of things to say, but that's just how it is. I guess that's when you're the cash cow, you can do whatever you want.
For Canelo, this fight was about proving he's still the king at super middleweight and the face of boxing, even after critics said his best days were behind him. No matter the scorecards, he showed enough to keep his throne contested but intact.
Robert Diaz said that he thinks Bomac might throw the towel in to stop the fight.
Oh, could be. In boxing, everything can happen, right?
Do you believe you knock him out?
Yeah, why not?
For Crawford, this was about daring to be great. He didn't just step up and wait, he entered the lion's den against a man built to punish smaller fighters. And he didn't break, proving that IQ and heart can transcend divisions.
You know, some people say that you've not faced the level of power and precision to the body that Canelo brings, that he's different. Do you think he brings anything different to the table that you haven't seen?
Well, they always say that, you know? They say that with Spence. He's the body snatcher. He's going to break my ribs and so forth. You know, we shall see.
How do you want people to remember this performance when it's all said and over? What's the headline the next day?
Listen, they gonna come up with their own analogy, you know? All I know is they're going to be saying Terence Crawford was spectacular September 13th.
Both men left the ring with their legacies enhanced, Crawford for daring, Canelo for enduring. The fight didn't offer a simple answer, it gave a memory that proves why both are exceptional. What's next? Talk of a rematch is already buzzing, maybe at a catchweight, maybe with different adjustments, maybe just to settle the debate once and for all. David Benavidez looms for both Canelo and Crawford, and possibilities at 154 or 160 pounds remain.
I was worried about collecting them belts and getting my name in the history books as one of the greatest fighters to ever do it. Floyd Mayweather has always been pound for pound king when he was boxing. Then once my name started getting mentioned in the top pound for pound rankings, then that's when I was like, all right, Floyd retired, Andre Ward retired. There's no doubt about it that I'm pound for pound best fighter.
But for now, this fight stands on its own, a rare night where hype met reality, and two legends showed why they're pound for pound greats. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez delivered a battle that lived up to every expectation. It wasn't about easy narratives, it was about pride, skill, and heart colliding on boxing's biggest stage. What's your take? Did Canelo's power and bodywork edge it, or did Crawford's precision and IQ prevail? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.